She mocked me like I was dirt under her expensive heels. My ex-husband stood there, smiling like my pain entertained him. But fate had already prepared a reply. That night, a billionaire handed me a gift in front of everyone, and the truth inside shattered their fake world. Before I begin, let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever been judged by people who only saw your struggles, but never saw your strength? Have you ever been humiliated by someone who thought your silence meant you were weak? If you've ever been through that kind of pain, then stay with me until the end, because this story isn't just about heartbreak, it's about karma arriving on time. And if you love stories that feel real, emotional, and powerful, where truth wins and pride falls, then subscribe now, because you're about to hear something that will stay in your mind for a long time. I didn't always have this calm voice when I told my story. There was a time when I couldn't even say my own truth out loud without shaking. A time when my past felt like a heavy chain tied to my ankle, dragging behind me no matter how far I tried to walk. People think divorce is just paperwork, just signatures, just moving on. But for me, divorce was like watching my entire life burn down and then being blamed for the smoke. I walked away from that marriage with almost nothing. No house, no car, no savings, not even dignity. I took what little I could carry, my clothes, my old photographs, and my self-respect, the tiny piece that survived. What hurt most wasn't the breakup itself. It was the story my ex-husband told the world after. He painted me like a villain, like I had used him, like I had destroyed him. And people believed him because he wore confidence like a suit and I wore pain like a shadow. I didn't fight. I didn't scream. Not because I didn't have words, but because I didn't have energy. When you're already drowning, you don't waste breath trying to convince people you deserve air. So I rebuilt quietly. I took a job as an assistant in a charity organization. Small office, small salary, but honest work. I learned to smile again, in pieces. I learned to laugh again when it didn't feel forced. I learned how to live with the fact that some people would always misunderstand me, and maybe that was okay. Then, one afternoon, my supervisor placed a cream-colored envelope on my desk. It looked expensive. Thick paper, gold embossing. I opened it, and my stomach turned cold. It was an invitation, a high-profile charity gala, a gathering of wealthy donors, investors, and influential families, the kind of event where people wear diamonds like their buttons, the kind of room where every smile is measured, every handshake is a deal. But what made my heart sink wasn't the event itself, it was the guest list attached at the bottom. And there it was, my ex-husband. Not just his name, hers too, his new wife. I hadn't met her yet, but I had heard plenty. People always talk. They talk like it's entertainment, like real lives are gossip. She's beautiful, they'd say. She comes from money, they'd say. She's perfect for him, they'd say. And I was always described as the before, the mistake, the sad chapter. I wanted to refuse, truly, but my supervisor said softly, "We really need you there. You're one of our best organizers we have, and there will be a major donor attending tonight, a billionaire philanthropist. If we impress him, our whole year's funding could change." A billionaire. That word didn't excite me, it didn't make me dream, it only reminded me how small I felt in a world that worshipped power. Still, I went, because sometimes in life you don't go because you want to, you go because running is no longer an option. That evening, I stood in front of the mirror longer than usual, not because I wanted to look stunning, but because I wanted to look strong. I wore a simple dress, nothing flashy, just elegant enough. I pinned my hair neatly. I didn't want attention. I just wanted peace. When I arrived, the place looked like royalty lived there. Crystal chandeliers, live music in the corner, people sipping drinks that probably cost more than my monthly rent. I took a deep breath and reminded myself, you belong here because you worked to be here. Then I saw him, my ex-husband. He stood near the center, like he owned the air. He looked polished, confident, and happy. And beside him stood his new wife. She was the kind of woman who made sure everyone noticed her. A bright dress that hugged her like it was designed to shout, jewelry that sparkled even in shadows, a laugh that didn't sound like joy, it sounded like performance. And when her eyes met mine, oh, I knew instantly. She didn't just recognize me, she had been waiting for me. Her lips curved into a smile, but wasn't kind. It was the smile people wear when they're about to crush something. She leaned toward my ex-husband and whispered something. He turned, saw me, and froze for half a second. Not surprise, not guilt, just annoyance, like my existence was inconvenient. Then she walked toward me slowly, like a queen approaching a servant. "Well, well," she said, loud enough for people nearby to hear. "So you actually came." I forced my voice to stay calm. "I work here." She laughed like that was the funniest thing in the world. "Oh, right, of course, that makes sense." She looked me up and down with fake pity. "Still, trying to survive." I felt heat rising in my face, but I didn't react. I had learned something about cruel people. They don't want to win with truth. They want to win with your reaction. So I stepped slightly away. "Excuse me, I have duties." But she stepped closer. "Wait, don't go. Everyone should see you. After all, you're famous in our circle." My stomach dropped. She turned toward a small group of women standing nearby and said, "This is the ex-wife. You know, the one who left him and then begged for money afterwards." That lie hit me like a slap. I opened my mouth, then closed it, because my throat tightened instantly. She continued, smiling. "I'm honestly shocked she's even allowed here, but I guess charity events accept everyone." The women giggled, not because she was funny, because they wanted to stay on her side. My ex-husband stood behind her, arms crossed, watching with that smug expression that made me want to scream, but he didn't say a word to stop her. That silence, it hurt more than her insults, because it confirmed something I already knew. He didn't just move on, he wanted me to suffer. And as if the universe wanted to test my limits, she lifted her glass slightly and said, "Let's be honest, if you had been smarter, you wouldn't be where you are now." Then she leaned closer and whispered so only I could hear, "You were never his equal. You were practice." Practice, that word sliced through my heart. I felt my eyes sting, my hands trembled, but I refused to cry in front of them. So I did the only thing I could. I walked away. I walked fast through the crowd toward the exit, my ears burning, my chest tight like it had been wrapped with rope. And just as I reached the edge of the hall, a calm voice behind me said, "Miss, please don't leave." I stopped. The voice wasn't loud, but it carried authority. I turned slowly, and I saw him, the billionaire. He didn't look like the loud rich men who show off. He didn't have that arrogant smile. He looked composed, elegant, and strangely familiar. The entire room shifted. People who had been chatting went silent like someone pressed pause on life. Even the music seemed to fade. He walked toward me, eyes steady. Then he said something that made my breath disappear. "You don't have to walk away tonight, not after everything you endured." My heart pounded. How did he know? I didn't even know his name. I swallowed. "Sir, I think you've mistaken me for someone else." He shook his head gently. "No, I've been looking for you for a long time." For me? That didn't make sense. Behind him, I saw my ex-husband's new wife. Her expression wasn't confident anymore. It was confused, threatened. The billionaire turned slightly and signaled to someone. A staff member approached with a gift box, deep blue, wrapped beautifully, sealed with a ribbon. He held it out to me. "This," he said, "belongs to you." My hands hovered before touching it. I could feel the room holding its breath. Then the new wife laughed sharply, Oh, please, a gift for her? Is this some kind of joke? A few people laughed nervously. The billionaire turned his head slowly toward her. His eyes weren't angry. They were colder than anger. "This isn't a joke," he said. Then he looked back at me. "And it isn't charity." He raised his voice slightly, not shouting, but clear enough for the whole hall. "This is truth." My fingers untied the ribbon. Inside the box was a velvet case, and beneath it a thick folder of documents with official stamps. My heartbeat thundered. I opened the folder. At first, I didn't understand the words. Then I saw my ex-husband's name printed across several pages. Bank records, transfer details, signed forms, and a legal statement. My eyes widened as the meaning hit me like lightning. This folder was proof. Proof that during our marriage, my ex-husband had secretly used my identity to move funds. He had taken a settlement meant for my late father's estate, an inheritance I didn't even know had been pending, then forged signatures to claim it as his own. I stared, trembling. I hadn't known, but deep down, I wasn't surprised. He always wanted control. He always wanted power. I turned a page. There were legal letters, warnings, investigations, audits. Then the billionaire spoke again. "Years ago," he said, "a woman helped my family when we had nothing but fear. She protected my younger sister from danger. She asked for no reward, no recognition." His eyes softened. "That woman was your mother." My breath caught. My mouth went dry. My mother had passed away years ago, and nobody in this room knew her story. Nobody. The billionaire continued. "Before she died, she told me she had one daughter, a daughter who deserved protection, support, and a life free from exploitation." He gestured gently to the velvet case. "Inside is her pendant. She gave it back to me that day so I could remember who I was before wealth." My hands opened the velvet case, and there it was, a small pendant, one I recognized immediately. I had seen it in old pictures. My mother used to wear it. I thought it was lost forever. Tears filled my eyes so fast it scared me. The room felt like it tilted. Then the billionaire said the sentence that destroyed the entire fake world my ex-husband had built. "Your ex-husband stole what was meant for you. I didn't come tonight to donate money. I came tonight to return what was taken, and to expose who he truly is." The new wife stepped forward, face pale. "This is ridiculous. You can't just accuse people." The billionaire raised a hand, and suddenly 2 men in formal suits, legal advisors, stepped forward. One held documents, the other held a sealed notice. The billionaire spoke calmly. "Your husband's accounts have been frozen pending investigation. Several contracts are being terminated effective immediately. This is not a threat." He paused. "This is consequence." I heard gasps ripple through the hall like waves. My ex-husband's face looked like someone sucked all the oxygen from him. He took a step toward me. "Listen, we can talk." His voice was shaky. His confident mask was cracking. "Please," he said softer, "don't do this here." And I felt something inside me rise. Not rage, not revenge, something stronger. Peace. Because for the first time in years, he was afraid. I looked at him slowly. "Don't do what?" He swallowed. Don't embarrass me." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was tragic. He wasn't sorry he did it. He was sorry he got caught. I turned toward the new wife. She was trembling now, clutching her purse like it could protect her. She whispered through her teeth, "Say something, fix it." But my ex-husband couldn't fix anything anymore, because truth had entered the room, and truth doesn't negotiate. I finally spoke to the crowd.
My voice was calm, even though my heart was breaking and healing at the same time. I never came here to take revenge. I came here to do my job, to support the charity I work for. I looked at the women who laughed earlier. And to anyone who believed the lies about me, I understand, because lies sound beautiful when they're told by confident people. My eyes shifted to my ex-husband. But silence is not weakness. I stepped closer. I stayed silent because I didn't have proof, and because I didn't want to become like you. My ex-husband opened his mouth, desperate. I raised my hand slightly. No. That was it. Just one word, but it felt like I finally got my life back. The billionaire then turned to the crowd. He announced that the gala's biggest donation would go through, but under one condition: that the charity organization I worked for would expand, that I would lead a new branch, supporting women who had been financially abused, framed, and silenced. My knees almost buckled. Me? Lead? After all these years of being treated like nothing. I held the pendant in my palm and felt like my mother was holding my hand again. The new wife stormed toward the exit, trying to save her pride. But pride looks ugly when truth is watching. My ex-husband followed her, his face ruined, his shoulders heavy, his future collapsing behind him. And the funniest part? No one stopped him. No one defended him, because people only respect power until power is exposed as fraud. That night, I didn't feel like a woman who won. I felt like a woman who survived. I walked out of that hall with the billionaire beside me, but not because I needed protection, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't ashamed of my story. I realized something important. Not everyone who smiles at you is happy for you. Some people smile because they think you're still below them. But karma? Karma doesn't care about their opinions. Karma cares about balance. And that night, balance was restored. If this story touched your heart, please remember this. People can mock you when they don't know your truth. They can laugh at your struggle when they don't understand your strength. But one day, life reveals everything. So like this video, subscribe, and comment. Truth always wins. Because the next story I share will be even more shocking, and you don't want to miss it.